I hadn't made a back pain video for about a year now, and I just wanted to give a little bit of an update as to my current condition with regards to back pain, as well as share some additional thoughts that I have had regarding back pain over the past few months. And to give an update, I basically it's the back pain is non-existent in terms of both the butt pain and the back pain, as I mentioned before. Now the funny thing is that the butt pain actually still makes a recurrence maybe once a month or so, and only for maybe like 15 minutes or something like that. And every time I I noticed that this butt pain has sort of just slowly seeped its way in for some reason. Then once I realize this, then I remember that, oh yeah, I have this whole psychological toolbox now for dealing with this exact problem, and within a few minutes that the butt pain will resolve itself without much further effort. And so if you remember, I drew this little graph in my part 5. It was a little plot of the intensity of the pain versus time, and it was sort of, it decreased over time, it got less and less as time went up, but it still really didn't go to absolutely zero. It was more of like, a year ago when I made my videos, I think the pain, there was still like maybe 2% pain or something like that. But given another year after that, the pain has actually gone down to, I would say today, I would rate the pain as something like 0.1%, if not less. And I say this just to sort of give an indication that actually this thing doesn't absolutely go away, I feel, immediately, but it more or less just decreases exponentially, somewhat exponentially over time. And I personally believe, I have no scientific, basis for saying this, but I would think that it's sort of a manifestation of your own belief system in terms of how strongly do you believe in this idea that, this back pain is a psychological factor, and the more time elapses, the stronger your correct belief then becomes, even though it doesn't ever, well, maybe it might eventually become even stronger, but what I mean is just that there's really no absolute metric, I think, when we're talking about this problem. Now, the other interesting thing is that I recommended my book, my copy of the book, Dr. Sarno's Healing Back Pain, to another friend lately, who actually had, this person's problem was not so much back pain as it was sort of related to certain digestive problems. And I was speaking with this person, and this person actually told me that they believed very strongly that there was also a psychological component to their digestive problems as well. And so once they heard me mention my own experience about how my back pain was solved by psychological means, this person very avidly, enthusiastically took up this idea, and I lent this person a copy of my book. And they reported to me after about a week that immediately upon hearing about my idea that this could be, be caused by a similar mechanism as the back pain problem, their digestive problem, like they were reporting some kind of pain or attack. That problem actually decreased very significantly the same day and the next day after hearing about what I had to say about my own problem. And then after reading the book, it sort of got better, but sort of didn't get better. And actually 2 days after the initially hearing the news, the pain came back. And so this pattern sort of, if you remember from my part 5 video, it very much mirrors the sort of experience that I had myself with getting over this back pain issue. And so I believe that it is really much an issue of convincing yourself, and the point being that the process of convincing yourself to believe in something does not happen linearly. Rather, it happens in steps, and it goes up and down in a sort of a very rocky trajectory. And another personal theory of mine that I like to share informally with my friends, although this has, again, no scientific substantiation whatsoever, is that if you look at the shape of the stock market sometimes, if you look at the trend in the stock market, sometimes you will see that, if a stock is sort of, at a certain level, and if there is some unfavorable news, then the stock will immediately plummet, but then, a short while later, it'll sort of bounce up again, as if people really want to believe that, the news is just temporary, but then eventually it'll just, succumb to its own weight again. And if you look at that trend, the stock trend, valuation of stocks, for example, or any other commodity, or these kind of instruments, my personal feeling is that, yeah, the way that you see these things valued is exactly a reflection of human belief forming trends. So belief forming trends. What you are seeing in terms of the rocky trajectory of those asset values is actually the way that people change their beliefs about something. And you'll notice that it's definitely not a straight line. And even if somebody tells you a very groundbreaking piece of news, people are not liable to believe it right away, but rather it will take a sort of a gradual process where, there's denial, and then there's acceptance, and then denial, and then eventually you'll settle on a sort of trend. So I do believe that is the case, and I sort of propose that to people who are still working on, trying to deal with their pain in this way, to at least account for the possibility that, your process may be rocky in the beginning, especially in the beginning when there's sort of very large dips in your own belief, the way that you yourself view your problem, whether it be back pain or other kinds of manifestations.